Hi guys, Miguel with Push Chop Japan. Today I'm going to be doing a demonstration with the Naniwa Multi-Stone. This one has a 1000 and 3000 grit surface. It is also a soaker, so you will need to leave this in water 5 or 10 minutes before you use it or when the bubbles stop. This is also going to be the first time I've used this stone, so I'm not too sure how well it's going to do. But seeing how it is a Naniwa product, I'm going to guess that it's going to do great. So fingers crossed. Thank you for tuning in, and let's see how she does. Thank you. Okay, here we are. It's been soaking about 10 minutes now. Let's get that there in the stone holder. Tighten these guys up a little, snug them up. There, it sits in there really nice. This is like I said, this is my first time using this stone, so I'm not too sure how well it's going to do, but seeing how it is from Naniwa, I'm sure it's a quality product. First, let's start with the knife and get rid of that edge so we can start and get some true results, more accurate results. Let's get rid of that sharp point. And yes, this does hurt, but I want to make sure we get some accurate results with the knife, for the stone I should say. So I'm going to start with the dual knife. Check that on some paper. Still kind of cutting into it. Let's give it another little bit of a go. Try not to stretch with it. Still feels like it has a pretty good edge. I do keep my knives well maintained, so as you can see, it's not really cutting it so much anymore. Well, that went in there pretty smooth, didn't it? So let's get that down a little bit more. Believe me, that does hurt. Get that in here again. I mean, it's still cutting really good. I just don't know how much of that edge I want to take off, but let's just do a little bit more. Just like I said, start my very dull blade. See how well this Naniwa Silkstone works. I still got a little bit of bite on there. Check this guy out again. Not really cutting it too well. It's not all that dull yet. Let's give it just another round. That really does. That does hurt. Okay, that is a little bit better, I guess. It's not really cutting it. Let's give it one more go. It's not really cutting it very well, so I think we're good. Okay. Let's start by getting my angle. I typically do 70-30, so I'll do a lot more sharpening on this side than I will the other. But still, gotta make sure I get that angle. To blade wet a little. Angle. There we go. Feels very smooth. No roughness at all, just a very nice smooth stone. So far it feels great. I am starting off on the 1000 grit side. On this side you want to fix your edge, or yeah, fix your edge too. sure to take care of that belly there, compensate for the curb. You don't ever want to lose the profile on these knives. I've done that, believe me. Getting it back is a whole nother, it's a whole nother thing. I do have to say this stone is very, very silky feeling, very smooth. Doesn't feel too gritty. It's just very, very smooth. So far, there's a little bit of a burr there. Kind of work just a little more in the front. Let's see. Staying pretty consistent. Might need to work a little more on the chin. But it does feel really good. Splash and Go seems to feel a lot grittier than this one does. Oh, and just so you know, the knife I'm using is a Aogami Super or Blue Super Steel. That way you know what type of knife I'm using on here. Yeah, at least the type of steel. Got a nice burr already. Looks like I'm doing okay on consistency, but might need just a touch more here on the chin. But it's already got a burr up there. I'm gonna try to even this out here. Give it a shot on the other side. Very, very nice burr. My chin still needs a little bit of work here, so I want to do a little bit more on that. But there is a burr already all along the edge, at least this side, and it just means the stone's cutting very well, because I did take it down quite a bit with the file. It's almost there. Almost got it. Looks pretty good. very nice burr all the way across there. Touch it up on the other side. Over on this side, yep. Got a little micro burr, still needs more work. Do it up this way. I like being a little ambidextrous. There is my angle. I personally think it's good practice if you could do both sides the same way. I personally enjoy sharpening it this way as opposed to pulling it towards me. Check that out. It's a little bit of a burr. Could use more. Give it a quick touch on this side. Getting it there. kind of work it for a little while, it does get a slight bit of a grainy texture feel to it, but still very smooth compared to some of the other splash and goes I use. There you go. Still need a little bit of work in the middle. Tell you what, taking that file to this knife really does a job to it. It doesn't feel good at all, but in order to put this stone to a good test, you want a good dull knife. Like I said, this is the first time I'm using this stone. It seems to be doing good. I caught a burr picked up on the other side pretty quick. This side's taking a little bit more finesse. Let's see how we're doing. Looks like we could still use a little more. That's the thing about your knives though. Maintaining them properly and consistently can usually turn sharpening into anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes and you're good. If you're only doing one knife, if you're doing two, you could do 2 knives in a good 10 minutes or less, depending on how often you sharpen them. I know when I do mine, it seems like more of a touch-up than anything, not so much a whole sharpening process. It doesn't seem so laborious when you maintain, as opposed to waiting till they're completely dull, or like I did, take a file to it. Maintaining is just so much simpler. I don't know, a lot more effective for taking care of the knife. Sharpen it up quicker, grinding off less metal. That's what it's all about, I think, in my personal opinion. The more you touch it up, the less grinding you have to do in the long run. So you'll be saving your knife a lot of grinding, just a little bit of maintenance. And that is doing pretty good. It looks like I just need a little bit more on the back end of it. I like to make sure my bevels are consistent. When I first started sharpening, I'd have wonky ones all over the place, thin in the back, thick in the middle. Like I said, on my first couple knives I started sharpening, I think I ground off the slight little curve in the belly. That's where I learned to be a little bit more gentler, not wait until your knives are so dull. Grinding off less metal just means less time sharpening and longer life for these knives, because they will last a lifetime. And that's looking pretty consistent. It's got the burr up. The chin does need a little bit more affection, so a little more attention. Let's do some quality stroking. Not fast, but just quality. Good, solid, consistent pull. How's that looking? It's getting there pretty good. Looking good. Let's do some stropping on the stone and check how the edge turned out so far. This is on 1,000 grit. Not the best edge, but still really good. It cuts through, no effort, but just listening to it, to me it sounds a little like it could use a little bit more finesse. Fingernail test. Yeah, it just could use just a touch more on the stropping action. But that's pretty good. Especially for taking a file to it. First time on the stone, so far I've got to give it a good grade. It's doing great. Not to say that I'm at the best at this, and I'm not, but I'm still learning. In my opinion, this stone is great. So far, I'm happy with it. I really care for this knife. It's the first one I ever bought since when I started getting into Japanese knives. It's one I'll keep with me always. And this guy has always come through for me. Glad this stone's doing a great job. Check it out one more again. One more again. Very good. Let's give this 3,000 side a shot. Let's see how much better we can get that crisp edge. It seems pretty crispy so far. Get that in there securely. You don't have to tighten these up too much, but you want to make sure the stone's sitting in there flat, corner to corner, flat. That way it's nice and solid. do have to say the 3000 side feels very smooth too. You can right away feel the difference in texture. It does feel like it's biting in there very good for being a 3000 grit. I wouldn't have expected so much of a bite feeling, you know. It's definitely not gritty, but it feels like it is biting pretty good. Feel a little bit of a micro bevel there. I'm one of those guys that neglects the chin a lot. I have to keep focused on that. Everything looks really good, but I kind of always wag a little bit on the chin, so let's give that a little bit more attention. Blend that in. And I'm trying to use as much of the surface of the stone as possible. But I primarily try to keep my fingers in the middle, moving straight forward and back to make sure I get quality strokes on here. Check that out again. Much better. There's a good consistent burr. Let's get the other side going. Side's a little higher because I do a 70-30 grind on my knives. That's my personal preference. What it feels to me is that 70-30 angle, bevel I should say, angle, cuts better. It almost kind of gives it that little bit lean towards a single bevel edge kind of thing. Not quite as sharp as you can get a single bevel edge, but I believe the 70-30 does improve your slicing ability. Yeah, a lot cleaner cuts, and it just feels good to me. I'm going to touch it up a little bit, switch it up, get that angle again. But again, I mean, this 3000 is very reactive. I mean, it's good under the fingertip. For 3000 grit, it feels probably more like 1000, a very smooth 1000, but it's not cutting like 1000. That feels good. Give that a look-see. Well, it's looking very nice. Nice Nice burr all the way across. Let's do some stroking action. You know, for the price range of this stone, I think it is well worth it, in my personal opinion. When you think about, you can get other combo stones, could be anywhere from $50 to $100 or more, depending on the make and style. This economical stone that Naniwa came out with is, so far it's a great stone. I mean, it did a great job so far on this knife. We'll see how the edge looks with paper at least after this, but it's got a good response under the fingertips. It's a good feeling. Like I said, even the 3000 side, you can tell it was gripping, actually grabbing pretty well, doing a good job. Definitely lets you know it's there. It's like right now, it's just, to me, it's giving me the right resistance. It's smooth, but you can tell it's definitely finessing that metal. Let's check out this edge real quick. It looks good. Great. Nice S curve. Just do a couple more passes on this. Very light touch. Very good, very good. As you can see, that stone did do a great job. Being labeled as an economical stone, I wasn't really expecting the performance to be up there that high, but it did a great job. Took that file and cut this edge down, or ground this edge down pretty far, and that stone was able to bring it back up and fine tune it. Very, very nice. If you're looking for a new stone or need a replacement, or even just adding to the collection, I think this is worth a buy. It's the Naniwa Multi-Stone. It's got a 1000 and 3000 grit side, identification number of MV510/530. And like I said, you see it out there, grab it, pick one up. It's a very good stone. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. Hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have another follower. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you on the next one. You take care now. Thank you.